She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
Ladies and gentlemen, her.
Hello, hello again. I am so glad to see you. I am so glad to come back. And okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Where was I? If you don't care, or if you weren't my previous follower before, and if you don't know who I am, or you simply don't care, I put a time tag so you can skip up to that moment and continue with like the real subject of the video. But if you were my follower before and you were wondering why haven't I posted anything, I'll give a very brief explanation of that. But basically, I had social media around 3 years ago, and since I was like a very young boy, it got deleted, and it got deleted again and again and again and again. It basically went like this. So it was exhausting. It was too much for me, and I needed to take a break. Like, I really needed it. Okay, now the real subject of the video. Okay, I want to start this video by saying that it's proven and studied that every man will feel some kind of homosexual attraction through the course of his life. This is a common thing, okay? And I'm not making it up. You can really look for it. And it said that it usually happens through adolescent, teenage years. However, it can happen really anywhere since you're born till you die. So I want to direct this video to all men and women, because men can kind of find a safe space here, and they can identify themselves in some of the categories that I'm going to mention. And women may have like a little bit of understanding of why men sometimes do the things they do, and why sometimes you may find that your partner has engaged in some homosexual.
Some point. Huh?
Are you homosexual?
A what?
A homosexual.
Homosexual activity. Aren't you embarrassed? This is really embarrassing that you don't know how to pronounce homosexual. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be discussing today. Sensitive topic. I know it may raise some feathers, as I am a real expert on the subject. I am going to share with you the types of men that I've considered will cheat with another man, even if they have a girlfriend or a wife. So first on the list, I have straight men who will eventually, sometime, at least once in their lives, or should I say just once in their life, will feel attracted to a very feminine man. Now, I know what you might be thinking. There is this argument where people say, oh no, but if a man has already been attracted to another man, whether that man is feminine or not, that man is not straight. That man is automatically gay or bi. And I have to disagree. If you, every single day of your life, eat just fruits and vegetables and you call yourself a vegan, I had to fix my thing. If you eat fruits and vegetables every single day of your life and you call yourself vegan or a vegetarian, but suddenly you see this juicy, big, fat, like delicious looking piece of meat right in front of you, you suddenly can avoid the temptation. You cannot act on it, but you will feel it. Like, one does not choose which things attract us, okay? Attraction can happen without our consciousness and without our permission. So, again, you have only eaten fruits and vegetables for all your life, but suddenly you have this juicy, fat, round piece of meat in front of you, and you feel attracted to it. You try it once, let's say, and just that specific piece of meat. And then after it, you go back to just eating fruits and vegetables for the rest of your life. Now, would you say you are not a vegetarian anymore only because you did it once and only because like the piece of meat was really tempting? I mean, if you say so, we'll have to disagree, because I don't think that breaking, let's say, a rule once will make you being something completely different than what you've been your whole life. Now, let's go a step further. Let's say that that piece of meat actually looks like fruit or looks kind of fruity. Or let's say it's a meat with some fruit in it or meat with some vegetables in it. Then you kind of feel more tempted. So to me, that is what straight men feel when they see like this very specific person, whether it be a boy, whether it be maybe... I really don't want to get into the transsexual topic because it may be kind of sensitive, but let's say some people consider trans women not women, which is not my opinion, but let's say that some people do. Let's say this straight man was attracted to a trans woman or a very feminine boy. So it's not something that usually happens to him, it just has happened to him once. Would you consider that man not straight anymore? I wouldn't, because that can happen to everybody. And I say it because I know, for real, I have known so many men who have all their lives being with women, all their lives being only with heterosexual relationships. Again, they may be married, they may have girlfriends, they may whatever, family men with children, etc. And they can feel attracted to a very feminine male sometime. That is actually so common, but just people kind of want to turn a blind eye on it because, especially, like, I don't want to make it look like I'm targeting women with this video, because I'm not. Actually, I want to support them and kind of help them. But usually women have like this blind dichotomy of, if the men with them, just like the men who I am with only like women, and the men who I see who like other men are gays, and I would never. But we see it over and over again that a woman who is with a man and she thinks that that man only likes women suddenly kind of surprises her because she caught him in an affair with another man. But in this category, we are talking about very feminine men. I would actually consider it like the straightest type of man, because they only feel attracted to people who are feminine or to people who fall into that criteria of femininity. Now, next on the list are heteroflexible men with feminine guys. So this is a separate category because once you identify yourself as a heteroflexible man, you are like more prone, more leaning into that. Like you're more willing and more open to do it, rather than the first category, which was like only a one-time thing and kind of like sudden occurrence. Like it wasn't really planned, it just happened. Now, when you move to a heteroflexible man who is attracted to feminine boys, that's more like a little bit of a habit they have. Now, are they still straight? Yes, in my opinion, they still are, because they're still mainly attracted to women, and in their everyday life, they may only be with women. There may even pass years before they get from one gay relationship to another, like from one boy to another, and there may be many women in between. So yeah, they're mainly straight guys. The thing is that after, like, some guys of the first point may jump to the second, and once they have already had that first experience, like that first experience with a gay boy, feminine boy, they may be more prone to do that again if they find like a boy who's attractive enough. I think in these first points, attractiveness and kind of femininity are quite decisive factors in which will determine if a straight man go gay for a moment or not. So yeah, the first one are straight men who will only once have like this sort of attraction or relationship to another guy, if he's feminine and, let's say, attractive enough. Then the second is when they kind of become heteroflexible, which is like they are more open to do it more than once, but only with very few specimens, let's say, only if they encounter boys who are feminine enough and attractive enough.
Now, just an example, the story of Zeus and Ganymede could be considered one of the first two examples. We don't know if Zeus was actually attracted to more than one boy than Ganymede. We only know about him, but it could be. So Zeus, king of the gods, was usually attracted to women, only had relationship with women. He had a wife, but suddenly he saw Ganymede, which was a very attractive young prince, and he is described as being rather feminine, so it fits into the first two categories.
Now, third on the list would be pansexuals. Pansexuals may be attracted to, like, maybe considered a little bit straighter, because they, some of them are only attracted to femininity, whether it's a woman or again a very feminine man. The reason I put them below the first two, it's because they lean even more into it. Like, to them, it's not occasional occurrences. It's more like they identify, or they already identify that way. So to them, it's kind of not that rare that they will engage in some kind of homosexual relationship. Or they are also, I've heard that many of the men who actively identify themselves as attracted to trans women, I mean, I guess any straight man can be attracted to a trans woman once in a while, if they're like feminine and, you know, attractive enough. But there are certain men that will just kind of accept that, yeah, the same as I'm attracted to women, I am also attracted to trans women, and many of them identify as pansexual because they say they are attracted to femininity. So even though they're engaging in homosexual relationships, they're kind of leaning more towards the feminine, like towards the womanly individuals, rather than straight up manly man. Now, next category on the list, and I hope you're writing it down. Next category on the list is, I would say, men who are straight, again, usually in relationships with women, mostly attracted to women, etc. But have once, or will once, have one attraction or one relation or one, you know, sexual relationship with another masculine man. Now, I'm doing a difference here because I really do not feel it's the same if a guy feels very attracted to, let's say, a boy like me, a boy who is, you know, young and feminine, to a man who feels attracted to another really masculine or manly man. I really do not think it's the same, in my opinion. Feel free to disagree. But in my opinion, it's actually kind of more likely or more, let's say, normative if a straight man feels sexually attracted to a boy who is feminine. Or, I don't want this to sound problematic, I don't mean it in a PDF way, but to a boy who is young. Why? Because you usually have more feminine features when you're younger. And again, I'm not talking about PDFs. Please don't take that I'm talking about that. That is like a completely different subject, and it's like a mental disease. But I am talking, you know, men who are attracted to boys who are young. So I think that's different, but I still wouldn't consider bisexual if a man says, like, you know what, I was maybe drunk, or I was maybe, I mean, I say drunk because that's like the usual story. Or maybe I was, you know, in a completely isolated place with another guy, and yeah, something happened. I have heard stories like this where personally or through other people or online, that sometimes co-workers who are, you know, on a work trip and they have to sleep together, like in the same hotel room, on the same house, on the same cabin, like even if there's two men and at least one of them is straight, they end up hooking up. Now, this can happen because of various reasons. Most of them are curiosity, like the straight guy wants to try. Other is, usually this kind of things happens when one of the guys is gay and one is straight. Now, here in this topic, we are talking about masculine gays, not gays like me, but more masculine gays, you know, maybe they have even beards, or maybe they just look like normal everyday men. Usually those gays, and I'm not trying to be judgy, but usually those men, when faced with the opportunity to be alone with a straight guy, they tend to be quite pushy. And that is not right, but it's the way it is. They tend to be quite direct and quite explicit into kind of lurking the straight guy into doing something with them. Now, this to me is like step lower into the, or higher if you see it that way, into the gayness scale, because this time a straight man who would engage in something sexual with a masculine man is not quite looking for femininity, as you may think. Now, next topic is really sketchy and I don't know how to cover it, but okay, we'll try. Next on the list are chasers. What is a chaser, you ask? Well, like the textbook's definition is somebody who is primarily attracted to trans people. Now, that sounds good on paper, you know, as somebody who's attracted to trans people, that's fine. But what makes someone like that a chaser? Chasers are usually not the best kind of people because they fetishize trans women a lot. They are not really attracted to them because they see them as women, as one would expect. They see them as like this very specific sexual kind of thingy, and they hyper sexualize them and fetishize them, and that's very problematic. But when it comes to this video, these chasers can also like usually be in relationships with women, I mean cisgender women, but like they will have this secret underlying fantasy of trans women, and they can hurt both in the process. They will be often dishonest to their cisgender partner and dishonest to their transgender partner. Like they will make kind of this you know, want to marry, want to have sex with dichotomy, which is very damaging, and I don't really like that kind of people. Now we're moving to the problematic side of the list, if it wasn't already. Now we're getting into like a more stereotype or yeah, just kind of ugly side, which is men who pretend to be straight but are actually gay. So you know, you're closet gays. This side is especially very ugly and very problematic because, as with chasers, this type of men will usually identify themselves as straight and will go through society living like a straight life. They may even have long-lasting relationships with women. They may have sometimes like lure them into that. They even marry and whatever, but they are secretly gay. I'm not talking bisexual, I'm saying they are actually secretly gay. They're really only attracted to men, they only get aroused by men, but you know, to seek that social standard and that social commodity of having like a normal life, they seek to have a relationship with women, and that is very, very problematic because then you just kind of ruin the woman's life. I have a few examples of this. One of them is Philip Schofield, which is a British personality. He used to have like a show or give the news, something like that. He came out many years later, completely ruins her wife's life. Then you have another example, which is, you know, Fran Fine, the nanny. Her husband actually came out gay after many years of marriage, and it's like, oh, like that must suck, honestly. So what I have here is a little piece of advice for women. I know that today we live in a climate where it's like, do not assume anyone's sexuality. Yes, I am going to assume somebody's sexuality based on what I see. So people who say don't assume someone's sexuality, they are kind of asking you to trust other people more than you trust yourself, like more than you trust your instinct, more than you trust your eyes, more than you trust like your fifth sense. Like there is this phrase, if it looks like a dog, walks like a dog, and quacks, it's a fucking dog. So if a man is giving me clear signals that he's gay, like he acts gay, he looks gay, he has kind of gay behavior, gay voice, I see him maybe be attracted to men, he's most definitely gay, even if he say he's not. And I'm sorry, I don't want to be judgy, I don't want to be you know, mean, but again, this is a piece of advice for women. If a man actually looks gay, he most probably is. And now, next on the list is men who, I think this is like the bottom of the list, and I don't say that, well, I mean, it is negative, but the bottom of the list is men, like on the straight list, I mean, like these are like the least straight men for me. You know how there are these men who, again, look very gay, behave very gay, you can tell that they are gay, but they tell the world, no, I'm not gay, I'm bi. And they kind of use it like a shield, like to not be completely ripped off their, let's say, normal life or their normality. They kind of try to use, oh no, but I also like women, as an excuse to not be considered fully gay. Like to me, these type of men are just one step from being like the gayest of the gay, like just one step ahead of actually gay men. The reason is because, again, I actually find this very problematic. It's problematic to bisexual people and to their partners because These type of men, again, they're not bisexual. I'm talking about closeted gays saying that they are bisexual. So they will engage in relationships with women and they will be like, oh, maybe they will be open, okay, I'll give them that. Maybe they will inform their female partner, like, hey, I'm bi. And maybe maybe the female partner will accept that. Maybe she will be like, oh, okay, it's fine. As long as you are kind of like more masculine or whatever. But it's a lie. At the end of the day, they actually like men more, they prefer men. And I just seen it firsthand. Once I saw this couple at the place I used to work with, they were like a very, very gay looking man and a woman. Then they received another friend to their table, and it was another man, another kind of gay looking man. Well, he looked more masculine than the first, but you could tell he was gay. Like, he was physically very masculine, but here his demeanor was kind of gay. And the woman's boyfriend went all like head over heels with him. And you could really tell that he was much more attracted to the guy than to the woman, even though he was in a relationship with the guy. Mind you, this wasn't like some sort of threesome or anything, because I overheard. And the woman started to get really angry and defensive, like, hey, why are you behaving this way? I thought you were bi, I thought you like women more, I thought you were masculine, even though he didn't look masculine at all. So what I'm getting with this is, guys, please don't say that you're bi just to get through life and just to have like a little bit more normal image of yourself, or like a higher standing in society. Because at the end of the day, you're hurting everyone. You're hurting the woman that you're getting in a relationship into. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting the actual bisexual community. Because now, as many of us have seen this example of a gay saying that he's not gay, but he's bi, only to have, again, like a more normal perception of himself. Now, many people think that every man who says that he's bi is actually just a closeted gay. And as I've said, I've seen firsthand that is not the truth. Like, I've met actual bisexual men and kind of, corroborate that they actually like women and men. So when you have a closeted gay who says that he's bi only to have this sort of privilege, it's just very problematic in general. It creates a problem in society. Yeah, you're actually kind of like cheating on a woman. You're lying to a woman. And I mean, again, girl, if your man look super gay and behaves gay, like he probably is. Like, I don't understand why women get into relationships with men who are like very, like, they say they're not, but you can tell, and others can tell, and everyone can tell that they are. And they still get into that kind of blindfold. I know, they kind of this. They're kind of like, they're kind of like, oh no, he says he's not gay, so I believe him. Oh no, he says he's actually bi, and he likes women, so yeah, I believe him. And then you see that guy interacting with another man, and you can clearly tell that he's more attracted to that man than to a woman. So, yeah, that's really sad. And to me, that's kind of the lowest of the low, and I really wish that closeted gays wouldn't do that. I mean,
Homosexuals. Damn homosexuals.
being gay and being in the closet is not a crime. There are many reasons why people could stay in the closet, societal pressure or whatnot. But don't like lure, women into having a relationship with you when you know that long term you won't be really attracted to them, and you will end up looking for like extramarital relationships with men, and you'll end up hurting the women most likely. And women, I'm talking to you. I'll give you many examples of why a man would eventually cheat on you with another man. So please be wise, look out for yourselves, and don't let yourself be fooled. And with that, guys, that will be the end of this video. I've covered my list of, the straightness list, from more straight to least straight, in my opinion. Again, I wanna put an emphasis on what I've already said through the video, that it really can happen to anyone. No matter if you're the most macho, straight, manly man. Like, I have been in relationships with really macho, manly men who are have been in relationships with women. Maybe they have been married, maybe they have children, and at the end of the day, they still fell for the boy. Like it can happen to anyone. So please also, another thing that I wanted to cover with this video is don't be homophobic. Like if you're a man, you really don't have any reason to be homophobic, because you never know when yourself can be attracted to another man, whether it be a feminine man or a masculine man or whatever. So yeah, don't be a homophobic out there, because it can also happen to you. And now, yeah, that's the end of the video. I am very glad to be back on the internet. I'm very glad to be back on social media. Please, 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 I feel so awkward. But, you know, the usual thing YouTubers ask, like, pretty please, like, if you could subscribe, maybe, like, if you could consider subscribing, that would mean a lot to me. Also, if you like this video and if you identify somebody who have these characteristics, you can also send it to them. So yeah, subscribe, like, and share. That's the only thing I'm asking of you. And again, I'm really happy for all of you. I received a lot of good messages that say they wanted me to return, and I listened. So here I am, adding more. Please follow me on my social media. I have an Instagram, I have a TikTok, and I have a Twitter. You can see other type of content of me there. So if you're interested in that, go follow. Please, again, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Ciao.
You're pretty.
Wake up, honey, I'll make you breakfast. Fresh coffee and bagels too. A new day is waiting for us. We got lots of fun stuff to do. Let's go to the zoo and feed the monkeys. I can lend them your baseball cap. Let's make the day a barrel of fun. Growing up is just a trap.